Jordan, a little recovery.
Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player of all time. Period. Don't come to us saying that LeBron is better. He isn't. Jordan played against some of the best ever, endured more hardship than LeBron, and of course, went to 6 finals and won all 6, versus LeBron's 3 out of 9. But what made him so legendary, though, was that he had an intensity that couldn't be ignored, denied, or prevented. If you were on his list, you were as good as done, which he proved multiple times when he sought revenge for slights, perceived or real, against him. Number 5, the second-year playoffs.
Michael Jordan of the Chicago Bulls put on a memorable individual display in the opening game of the series. Virtually every move Jordan made proved successful.
For a great example of this kind of revenge, we head not to the prime of Michael Jordan's career, but the very beginning. In year 1, Michael Jordan established that he was the future in every way. He made the Chicago Bulls better instantly, and when year 2 came, he was ready to fight for more glory and possibly a title. But for the only real time in his Bulls career, he got injured and was sidelined for basically the whole season. He worked hard to get back onto the court, but the Bulls management would only allow him to go in for 7 minutes each half for the remaining games of the season. Jordan was furious, especially when it became clear to him at least that management wanted the Bulls to lose so they could get a lottery pick. But that went against Jordan's desire to win always and get to the playoffs every year as a Bull, which he did for the record. By luck, they got in, and his revenge was satiated big time when he was unchained in playoff series against the Boston Celtics, who would win the series and the NBA Finals that year. He went off, scoring 40-plus points, 50-plus points, and doing just about everything possible to let out all of the frustration that he had built within him. Even Larry Bird admitted that you can't hold the great ones down, as well as saying that wasn't Michael Jordan, that was God disguised as Michael Jordan. And remember, that was just his second year, and he proved that you don't put chains on a man like him. Number 4, the Detroit Pistons.
Wire got the step, but lost it. And here comes Jordan. Michael Jordan throwing glass.
Despite his drive to win, and despite his need to basically hate everyone to give him that edge, Michael Jordan doesn't hate that many people. Patrick Ewing, Reggie Miller, Charles Barkley, Clyde Drexler, and everyone else that stood in his way were rivals, but they were also friends. Good ones too. Except for Isaiah Thomas and the Detroit Pistons. When the Bulls were on the rise and the Lakers and Celtics were on the decline, it seemed destiny was in favor of the Bulls becoming the next major team. And at this point, the Bulls had Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, and others that would help them win that first three-peat. However, the Detroit Pistons, known as the Bad Boys, were in their way, and they threw a 3-year monkey wrench into the plans of the NBA when they beat the Bulls and brutalized Michael Jordan in order to ensure that they went on to the NBA Finals and win back-to-back titles. That ate at Jordan because he hated the Pistons, and so he bulked up and made sure that his entire team was ready for round 3. And when they did, they swept those Pistons. And to this day, many claim that it was Jordan who kept Isaiah Thomas off of the Dream Team at the Olympics. He denies that, of course. Number 3, Tony Kukoc.
We were not playing against Tony Kukoc. We were playing against Jerry Krause in a Croatian uniform.
You might be curious about this one because Tony Kukoc was a player on the Bulls since 1993 and helped Michael and co-win their second three-peat. So how could he want revenge against a fellow teammate? Because in the 1990 NBA draft, general manager Jerry Krause, whom Jordan had a very rocky relationship with, believed that it was Kukoc, not Jordan, Pippen, or anyone else who was the future of the Bulls, which was not a very kosher thing to say, especially since the Bulls were honestly winning and were set to start their first three-peat. The reason Kukoc didn't play with the Bulls earlier was because of the troubles of his home nation in Croatia and money. But Kukoc and Michael met in the 1992 Olympics, Jordan on Team USA and Tony on Croatia. When they met the first time, Jordan told the Dream Team that he and Scottie would handle Kukoc, no one else. They brutalized him, all because they wanted to show up Jerry Krause and say, "This is your guy? He's better than us?" Even the other Dream Team members got in on the act to help protect their own. Admittedly, Kukoc did better in their second meeting, and he had a great relationship with Michael when he did play with the Bulls. But that first round, yeah, he was the subject of revenge because of a man who caused a lot of people grief. Number 2, the finals.
Thanks, Marv. At 3:30 this morning, Michael Jordan woke up with flu-like symptoms. He had a stomach ache and a headache, and he couldn't go back to sleep.
Michael Jordan in the NBA Finals was special. He never shied away from the big shot. He never took an easy way out. And yes, he did the flu game, which was actually food poisoning by his admission. But the reason this entry is on the list is because at times he would use some small bits of revenge to get to the next level. For example, in 2 finals, he faced Charles Barkley and Karl Malone after they had won the MVP. Michael felt he was the MVP of the league both times. And so he basically said to him, "Okay, you can have that. I'm going to get this." And that's exactly what he did. He went off in every single finals he was in. Even when he was down, he never stopped pushing until he got what he wanted. 6 rings, 6 finals, 6 NBA Finals MVP trophies. No one has ever come close to doing that. Number 1, everyone else.
It's like, you should be talking to him. It's like, you're right. Michael, who do you think you are? The great Michael Jordan? That's right. There's a new kid on town, right?
Everyone else. Isn't that a little basic? Well, if it was anyone other than Michael Jordan, then yes. Michael was so bent on beating people to a pulp in games that he would use any slight against him to do well. The media criticizing him because he went to gamble before a big game? He went off. Reggie Miller saying, "This is Michael Jordan?" He went off. A former teammate getting a big win in a playoff game and bragging about it? He went off. Insulting the fact that he wore 45 when he returned from baseball and saying, "45 ain't 23? Yeah, he went off. Anything that he could use to get a mental advantage and push his game to the next level, he did that. Because above all else, Michael Jordan wanted to win. Period. So, there you have it. A look at the history of Michael Jordan and his career and how he used revenge to get his way and prove that he was the best ever. Period. Which of these revenge games do you feel was the best? Do you agree that this was part of the reason why Michael Jordan is the greatest to play his game? Do you have a different revenge moment that should be on here? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.